Everything should be working. All right. Everything should be working, I hope. I got it all connected here. So I'm going live on Instagram, YouTube, LinkedIn, and my Facebook business page, I believe. Maybe not on the business page. But I am going live in my office. I just did a different setup because I'm like, I've been experiencing different results myself, moving much faster through different things in life, using these different techniques and tools because I'm like, I know that they exist. I'm just putting it all together. So what I did was, now I've got, you can't see it because I can't get the one camera to move, so it's just me. But what I did was, I do have a chair now for a massage that I've got right here. It's one of those type of massage that I did. Let's see. Let's move the angle with this one. It's that one right there. I just put a massage thing there that I can use. And then I also decided, in addition to that chair, having that there, I also decided to start using my grounding mat for more people than just myself, because I have gotten a lot of benefits from grounding. And you're probably like, what is grounding? Well, when you go outside and you have your feet in the grass, you're connecting to the earth. So this grounding mat, I have to get a bigger one yet. But this grounding mat, what it does is it mimics the outside energy that we get naturally from having our feet in the ground. So when you've got your feet in the ground, you're getting that energy, you're getting all of the nutrients from the ground, from the earth itself. And so what that does in having it here on the table when you're getting Reiki done is, what it's doing is it's allowing you to just feel grounded. So a lot of the times when I am grounding, how I feel is I tend to feel better. I don't know, for those of you who have short legs like I do, got these nice short legs, we're not made to sit in a chair. We are made to be on the go, on the run. So if you've got little kids and they've got short little legs like I do, they're made to go, they're made to be on the run. So one of the ways I've solved that constant jumping of my legs is using a grounding mat. So I do have a grounding mat that I do use myself. I've noticed it's decreased my swelling. I've noticed it has improved my mood. I've noticed that it's taking away a lot of the back pain, hip pain, and it takes away a lot of that my legs gotta constantly move pain for restless leg syndrome. So I've been using this as a huge tool. And I'm like, what about putting it where I'm using it with Reiki? So I decided, let's do it. And so I used my husband as a guinea pig first because, well, he's the best to use first. Just saying. He's really good at helping me with what I want to have. So I might add him first, get his thoughts on it. Because literally what I did was I started using the essential oils. So I have in my office, I have the Itovi scanner where you can scan and check what oils you want. I don't have it set up to sell you oils. I have it set up to know what oil, when you're in my room and you're in my space in this office and you're on the table, you're doing your grounding, you're getting Reiki done, what oil is going to benefit you the most when you're on this table. So most people, when they do Reiki, they do just straight Reiki. They don't add like the grounding mat. I've got a lot of relaxation. I actually took and started covering up this window now to help block a lot of the light in, because it is 10:30 in the morning. So 10:30 in the morning, there's normally a lot more light coming in through that window. I decided to put some block up because my kids didn't like the block that I had for their window. They liked it, but they didn't like it enough to keep it on the window like I had wanted. So I'm like, I'm going to use it here. This way I can have all the candles that you see in the background. I've got more that you can't see that are on, and making this room really pleasant, really friendly. Like a lot of people say when they've had Reiki done by me, they're like, I just come into your office and I just go to sleep. And I'm like, I think that's a good thing. At least I hope that's a good thing that everybody's like, I just come into your office and I just feel so relaxed and so pleasant being here. It's so calming. I really like it. So I'm like, let's add more to the value of the Reiki that I do. Let's add more to the value of the hypnosis that I do. And one of the ways, like I said, is not only we're going to start out with being able to use the grounding mat and the oils now. We're going to be also starting out with just being able to take that deep sense of relaxation. And I do use my sound therapy bowls when you are having a Holy Fire Reiki session. I do use the sound therapy because sound therapy has been proven to be beneficial. So I'm just going to play these. This is playing all of the chakras. So whether or not you can hear them real clear, I don't know. But a lot of people who have thyroid problems need this bowl in particular, the throat chakra. And then you combine that with sound, like that. So when you're doing the sounds that's related to this bowl, which this one is E, what happens is you're allowing your body to be used as an instrument, because it is. That's what our vocal cords are. That's why some people can sing and some people it's like don't even sing at all whatsoever. We don't even want to hear that. My ears, some people, just saying. So one of the things that I'm like, you know what, I add that naturally already to what it is that I do for the Reiki. So I'm like, might as well make things better for people because that's what I want to do. Speaking of better, I also found out my intuition was correct and my body was 100% correct on saying that synthroid was not for me. So I quit taking it, and guess what? I feel a lot better. In case you're wondering, like, why are you all of a sudden better? Well, it's because I got rid of that synthroid. I'm like, enough is enough of the negative thoughts. I don't deserve that. Yes, it can harm my thyroid, but you know what? I know how to cure it naturally anyway. Sound bowl is one of them ways. Another way to cure it naturally is doing my Reiki. Another way to cure it naturally is doing my hypnosis and telling myself that I am perfect. I'm allowing myself to let go of the things that no longer serve me, start working in my strength zone instead of my weak zone. And the reason I say that is because our thyroid problem is a body syndrome. And what it means as a body syndrome, as a person who has studied the subconscious mind, the 95% of why you're on auto program, why you do what you do, and how you do what you do, with the NLP combined, what it means is that thyroid, when you're not speaking your truth to who you are and what you're doing, that is why it can become blocked. Also, if you look at the transgenerational curses, transgenerational trauma, we can also inherit those. So it's just ways to look at it. There's more to the thyroid. I cannot remember it all offhand because there's different issues, different things our body puts out. So what I wanted to talk about was the Outwitting the Devil, and that's by Napoleon Hill. And I was reading it, then I quit. But there's a couple things that caught me yesterday, and I'm like, this is what people need to hear. So I just want everybody to just take a deep breath and just relax and just enjoy the scene right now, where you're at, where I'm at, because I've got a very good scene. This is what I do for a living, like I said. So, person. So this is where Napoleon Hill is talking to the devil. And so he said, who are some of the present day non-drifters over whom you have no control? And then this is his answer back to Napoleon Hill. This is the devil speaking. I have control over no non-drifter, present or past. I control the weak, not those who can think for themselves. So thinking for themselves, well, what does that mean, okay? You go to the public schools, the indoctrination camps. What they're teaching you is they're teaching you what to think instead of how to think. They're teaching you to go be an employee, essentially, because we do need employees. I'm not saying anything bad about that. What I am saying is that they treat every person like they're the exact same person. The doctors do this, do they not? When you go to a doctor and they say, oh, you need to lose weight. Great, tell me what to do. Well, you lose weight by exercise, dieting, watching what you eat, and that's what you do to lose weight. Everybody on the planet knows that, but when you ask the doctor a specific plan, they do not have a specific plan other than pump you full of medications, which, who knows medications better than your doctor? The pharmacist does. They actually went to school for medicine, to study medicine. That's what a pharmacist literally went to school for. They went to school for medicine. Doctors went to school to learn how to take care of sick people, because ultimately when I've had enough people on my podcast tell me the exact same thing, they went to school to become a doctor because they wanted to help people. However, they got into it and they realized this is taking care of sick people who have zero interest in helping themselves, because the doctors, they just don't know what to do. So I'm going to go into this. Go ahead and describe a typical drifter. Again, this is Napoleon Hill saying this. Give your description point by point so I can recognize a drifter when I see him. The first thing you will notice about a drifter is his total lack of major purpose in life. How many of you are walking around life without a plan? And you're just walking around doing life. Well, I have a plan. I go to work the next day. I have a plan for my vacation. How many of you can get so many things done before your vacation? I don't know about you, but when it comes to life, we don't always stick to that plan, or we don't even have a plan. Like, do you actually have a plan to grow yourself? You want to be able to have your children. This is mind-boggling for me. You have children. You want them to be successful. You want them to be confident. You want them to have more than you have. Problem is, your plan to fail is because you yourself have not taken the time to grow yourself, to know yourself. Because if you don't know who you really are, if you don't know what sets you off and how to change that environment so that you're no longer operating in that autopilot behaviors all the time of, why do I get mad every time somebody says this? Okay, I'm not talking that. I'm talking if you knew why you get angry, if you knew why certain things happen that came from childhood, you could fix the problem. So this way your child is confident because they see their mommy and their daddy being confident. And the children don't automatically get confident by just saying, oh, good job, you're being a good sport. And that is not how we do. I'm just saying. And different obstacle. We're relaxing right now. And I'm also letting you know. So the first thing you'll notice about this drifter is this total lack of major purpose in life. It's basically going about your daily life, doing the same stuff every day, expecting different results. Definition of insanity and consistency. He will be conspicuous by his lack of self-confidence. Just said that. He will never accomplish anything requiring thought and effort. So for people who don't like to think, guess what? Those who do think and think a lot about other people and how to help them exceed are the ones that give everybody else a job, because we're willing to take on the risks. Again, there's nothing wrong with being an employee, because I'm waiting for that luxury, because I know that they'll be able to help me in areas that I can't do. I'm just saying that that's one of those parts of the drifters. He earns and more too if he can get credit. He will be sick or ailing from some real or imaginary cause and calling to high heaven if he suffers the least physical pain. He will have little or no imagination. He will lack enthusiasm and initiative to begin anything he is not forced to undertake. And he will plainly express his weakness by taking the line of least resistance whenever he can do so. He'll be ill-tempted and lacking in control over his emotions. Won't be able to control the emotions. How many people in here are like, I can't control my madness. Oh, you made me do something. First off, if anybody can make you do something, let me know, because I need help in that department. I'm just saying straight out, I do need help. And someone else telling me exactly making me do something. Nobody can make you do anything. No one can make you feel a certain way. So nobody can make you feel angry. That's a choice you made. People who are drifters don't realize that they have 100% control over your emotions. They really do. So his personality will be without magnetism, and it will not attract other people. He will have opinions on everything, but accurate knowledge of nothing. He may be a jack of all trades, but good at none. He will neglect to cooperate with those around him, even those on whom he must depend for food and shelter. He will make the same mistake over and over again, never profiting by failure. He will be narrow-minded and intolerant on all subjects, ready to crucify those who may disagree with him. I'm 100% sure there's a certain group of individuals right now that are narrow-minded, intolerant of other people who don't agree with them. He will expect everything of others, but be willing to give little or nothing in return. He may begin many things, but he will complete nothing. He will be loud in his condemnation of the government, but he will never tell you definitely how it can be improved. How many people we know that online, on social media? He will never reach decisions on anything if he can avoid it. And if he is forced to decide, he will reverse himself at the first opportunity. He will eat too much and exercise too little. He will take a drink of liquor if someone else will pay for it. How many people do you know that got that type of bottle problem? He will gamble if he can do it on the cuff. He will criticize others who are succeeding in their chosen calling. In brief, the drifter will work harder to get out of thinking than most others work in earning a good living. He will tell a lie rather than admit his ignorance on any subject. If he works for others, he will criticize them to their backs and flatter them to their faces. How many people you know in your life that do that? There's a lot of drifters in this world. I have come into a few of these myself. How I fixed. So now you're like, okay, that's great. You told me the problem. How do you fix this problem of being a drifter so that people actually respect you? People actually are like, hey, she's credible. Hey, you can actually do what you want to do. You mean like you can do anything? Yeah, you can. You can control your emotions. You can heal yourself naturally. You can heal yourself naturally without popping the next pill, without drinking the next bottle down, without having to go the next thing. You can. And I'll tell you how to do it. You got to get serious. You got to be intentional about your life. Be able to do this, to be the non-drifter. He is always engaged in doing something definite. Though some well-organized plan, which is definite. You have to have an intentional life. You have to live intentionally. You can't just magically wake up one day, I'm going to do it. Because I tell you right now, the subconscious mind will kick in, autopilot. Yesterday you said you were going to take and go mow the grass, and you didn't. Procrastination, we call it. Really what it is we're saying to ourselves, I can just push it off another day. And what happens is that's part of that drifter. of it never gets done. You know, we're thinking of, we want to do something, we got to do it now. We got to have a definite plan of action. If you don't have a definite plan of action of how you're going to do things, guess what? Nothing works. Which is why myself, I'm like, I need help. I know that I need help thinking small. I have an incredibly hard time thinking small. I can't do it. So what did I do? I decided to hire someone to help me think small. And you're like, what do you mean think small? Well, literally, I'm right here. Like, I see myself as 11 millionaire. Okay, I see myself already there, $11 million in my wallet at all times. Like, I see that. My bank account says sit and spin, and I'm like, how do I get from sit and spin bank account to $11 million? How do I do it? I don't have all of the steps in between. I know some of them, but how to get there, that's the thinking small that I said that I don't have that ability currently to do. I'm working on it. I'm learning it because it can be a learned skill. At least I hope to God it can be a learned skill on how to think small, because if it's not, I'm in trouble. So what I'm saying is that I have this amazing ability to see the best in people that they don't see themselves. And so when you come to me, one of the things is that I can help you with is have that belief in yourself. Because until you believe in yourself, nothing else you're going to do in life is actually going to work out for you, which is why I wanted to read that about Outwitting the Devil in Napoleon Hill's book. Originally, when I picked it up, I'm like, okay, this doesn't make any sense. But I'm like, let's do it. Why not? And then he talks about the hypnotic rhythm in here, and I'm like, this better not be anything bad about hypnosis, like initially what I was thinking. And then as I was reading it, I'm like, oh my God, this makes sense for the everyday individual who has zero clue how powerful their mind truly is. And because I've used hypnosis, because I've used Reiki, because I brought these other modalities in, I'm no longer on medication. I no longer need them. I am being able to live my best life and help other people do it because I realized how to do it. Like when I was struggling with infertility, I wasn't able to have a baby. Doctors medically told me there's no way I was ever going to have children. And here I am thinking to myself, I literally wrote the steps out backwards to figure out how I did it. And then that's how I came up with my miracle fertility solution, was because I figured out what it was I was doing. And you know what I was using? Hypnosis. That was before I became a certified hypnotherapist. I was using hypnosis. I was using the law of repetition. The more you tell yourself something, the more you become that thing that you wish to become. So if you keep telling yourself, I'm $11 million, I'm pregnant, it's going to happen. And I know this because what I do to help women become pregnant, these couples that become pregnant, is so powerful that's what helped me become pregnant 8 times. I already know my daughter, Sarah Rose, is on the way. I'm just telling you, I figured it out. And one of the ways, like I said, is I figured out how to use my mind correctly to get what I want. And when I say correctly, most of us are so good at getting what we don't want. I mean, like literally, stop and think about it. Think of all the things you don't want in life right now. You don't want to have an accident. You don't want to have to go work a dead-end job. You don't want to have to take and do half the things that you're doing in your life right now, but you're doing them anyway. And you're like, why am I really doing this? Like, that's why people have that midlife crisis that they talk about when they're 40s and their 50s. It's literally because you have that midlife crisis because you've been living your life all wrong. And then you're like, oh my God, I'm 50 years old. I'm 60 years old. And I have nothing to show for in my life that I'm actually proud of myself for. You want to avoid that midlife crisis? Start doing what you want to do that makes you happy in life. And I'm not talking about cutting off healthy body parts. I'm not talking that. I'm not talking and being with an orange because you're an orange. I'm not talking any of that. What I'm strictly talking about is getting your mind right. What do you want to do in your life? What do you want to create? That's what I'm getting at. That's my whole point of this. That's why I shared about the drifter part, okay? overall, essentially, what I'm saying about being in this room, I said it's pretty powerful if you think about it, like this background. It's not just amazing. I've got the bowls. I've got, like I said, the grounding mat that I'm using for Reiki. I'm using the essential oils for Reiki. And the reason why I started doing that is because I realized I've been getting benefits. My husband tried it and he was like, whoa, he's never had that experience. And I'm like, okay, now I know that this is something I need to share. The infertility is the exact same way. When I realized how to work backwards on what I did, what I was doing, I worked all that out. I'm like, I need to share this with other people. Because I don't know if you know, but 1 in 8 couples deal with infertility. 11% of couples have secondary infertility, which means they can get pregnant the first time. Baby number 2 that they're trying, or baby number 3 that they're trying for, doesn't come. And I know the reason why that is. I'm not going to share that, because if I went and shared it right now with you, you're going to be like, oh, now I know, blah, 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 blah. Or you may not believe me because, well, it could never be my thoughts that created it. I mean, like, or society that created it. You didn't catch my drift. I just told you in a way what the problem is. And then 1 in 4 couples have also dealt with miscarriage. I'm one of the 4, and I'm 1 in 4 women who have had a miscarriage. I've had it twice. Second time was because of chemicals around me in the environment that caused it, and I know that. Unlike the doctors who were like, "Oh, it just happens." No, it doesn't just happen. There's chemicals. They don't tell you about the chemicals in your environment that cause a miscarriage. Okay, they don't tell you that because they don't know that. They don't study that. Anyway, I'm also the 1 in 8 of the couples who have dealt with infertility. And I know my method works because I got pregnant 8 times, and I'm like, yep, Sarah Rose, you're next, you're on the way, and I know that. So I just want to leave this with you right now. If you are at all wanting to have a Reiki session, and if you're in town, obviously you're going to get the grounding mat, you're going to get this nice area. But if you're online even, you're still going to get this nice area to be able to look at, be able to get sound bowls. You're going to be able to have that as part of having a Reiki session. So I just want to let you know, go out there and make it a great day. You don't have to. I was supposed to go pick up Glenn about 20 minutes ago, but you know what? That's all right. My husband can take him because I've got another call to get here to at 11 o'clock. So I've got exactly 5 minutes to get to that because I set my clock 5 minutes early just so that I'm always on time. So thank you. Go out there and make it a great day. See, I gotta figure out how to end all my videos. All right.